Yo, 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 yo. Salute. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here to chop it up with the fam. If you can see me, press one. And if you can hear me, go ahead and press two. You at the right place at the right time. You are at the place where you come ordinary and you leave extraordinary. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. And because of that, I appreciate you and you're a real one. This is heaven on earth, the number one home for personal development. The number one home. This is a place where you come ordinary and you leave extraordinary. You come in one way and you leave another way. This is a personal development platform. We use personal development as a vehicle to get heaven now. There's some institutions, there's some places that tell you that in order to get to heaven, you got to die. Over here, we don't believe that. Over here, all we have to do is be real. That's reflective, enlightened, accountable, and most importantly, limitless. I got a promise for you. And my promise for you is, or to you is, that personal development is for everybody. Don't matter your gender, don't matter where you at in the world, it don't matter your relationship status, it don't matter where you was born. Personal development is for everybody, right? And you can get heaven in your finances, heaven in your relationships, heaven in your health. Whatever heaven on earth is to you, you can achieve that by using personal development as a vehicle to take you there. Keep your babies close to you. And please, please, please be patient with your babies. And most importantly, be patient with people in your life that is trying to love on you. Shout out to all my peoples out there. I ain't going to even waste no time. Today's conversation is for the abstract mind. Today's conversation is for the students, certain kind of students, right? Today's conversation is for people that look at things and try to figure out exactly what they're looking at. Today's conversation is for out the box thinkers. My conversation today, our conversation today is no Diddy. How to understand the hidden side of gifted people. How to understand the hidden side of gifted people. The reason why I said that this is for the out the box thinker is because the regular thinker looks at things and has to uh put it in hell or heaven automatically, right, wrong. No. It could be that. But the abstract thinker, the out the box thinker, likes to flip the thing over and look at it, twist it upside down and look at it, right? You have to sit it there and observe it, because in all things, we look at things to study ourselves. So my conversation is not about Diddy's house getting raided. I don't care about that. My conversation is not about Diddy's deviancies per se in judgment. I don't care about that either. My conversation is about the other side of what makes somebody great. Because as the consumer, as the fan, moving forward, you have decisions to make. You have to understand that everybody that you see that is operating with a gift, you have to understand there is another side to that gift. It's not just Diddy, it's all people that are operating at the higher levels with gifts. So when you're dancing to your favorite artist, just understand that that music is fueled by something. When you're looking at top performers and you're listening to their podcast and you want them to perform like them, understand that that top performer, the reason that they are performing better than everybody else is something behind the scenes. And as long as you're okay with that, see, you can't do both. You can't dance to the music. You can't watch them throw the football. You can't watch them shoot the jumper. You can't listen to them on stage and be inspired by them and only take that part of them without understanding why they are the way they are. Our conversation today is no Diddy. How to understand the hidden side of gifted people. In order to properly understand the hidden side of gifted people, you have to understand artists. You have to understand Hollywood. It's important to process what you're looking at through a different lens. You can't look at it through a morality lens, and you can't look at it from a regular 3D perspective. Most importantly, when you're thinking about someone like Diddy, when you're thinking about Hollywood, when you're thinking about great people, you cannot process it using binary thinking. Okay? It can't be this or that. So a lot of times when people's behavior is exposed, the first thing we do is say, oh, that's not right. Bad man, bad woman, send them to jail, send them to hell. That's fine. But do you notice that every time you do that to them, another one comes behind them, and another one comes behind them, and another one comes behind them? You cannot get rid of the behavior. And the reason why is because you don't understand what you're looking at. If you want greatness, there is a price for that. If you want the great man or the great woman, you got to understand there is a huge price for that greatness. And the price is these secret parties that we hear about. It's this taboo behavior that we hear about. The secrets, the things that go on behind that back door. Are you sure you want the album? Because as the consumer, you have a lot of responsibility. Do you continue to want to dance? Do you? Do you still want to watch your favorite your actor or actress? Do you? Because if you do, what do you think makes them that talented? They're a little off. The most blessed person on the planet is the average man and the average woman. Because the average man and the average woman doesn't do anything well. They do everything average. So their brain doesn't go to certain places, right? They don't experiment with gender roles. They don't experiment with sexuality. They don't experiment with drugs. They don't think outside of the box that they're given. Go to work, go home, get married, color within the line, play within the rules, then you die. That is actually a blessing. The cursed man and the cursed woman is the man with talent. The cursed woman is the woman with talent. The cursed woman is the woman that has genius potential. Because what makes her brilliant, what makes her skilled and talented is not the regular makeup of the average woman. Same with the average man. So the average person is actually the luckiest person in the world. The average person is actually the most blessed person in the world because they don't have any huge ambition and goals that keeps them up late at night. They're extremely lucky. They could just ride this thing out and color in the lines. They can operate within binary thinking. But when you're looking at someone like Diddy, you can't use binary thinking. Because when you're looking at these individuals, when you're looking at the gifted man and the gifted woman, there is no all right and there is no all wrong. I'm sorry. Religious frameworks does not work here. Because we're dealing with the artist. We are dealing with the performer. We're dealing with the writer. We are dealing with the person in society that pushes boundaries. So there is no all right. There is no all wrong. You have to adjust your lens and adjust your perspective if you want to understand. That's the key word. If you want to understand the hidden side of the gifted person, because maybe you might understand something about yourself. So binary thinking is left, right, night, day, up, down, God, devil, Democrat, Republican, right? And when we see things, we have to put things in these boxes to understand it. But when you're dealing with a gifted person, that's not going to work. You need a different lens. The dangers of binary thinking. Let's first talk about flattening. Flattening is the process of placing people into one category and treating them as if they are all alike. People do that often. But things are not alike. They are unique. And you have to deal with them as such. But many of us don't have time. So we have to put things in a heaven or hell very quickly because we just don't have time to sit there and try to figure out what I'm looking at. Or we magnify. When you magnify the differences between members of different categories, you assume that they are more different than they actually are. Or what about favor? When you favor certain categories, your tendency is to hyper focus on the categories that you prefer. See, this is all binary thinking. Or fossilize. When you fossilize your understanding of the world through categories, you are less likely to update your views. And that's all we want to do here is update our views. That's it. We want to update our views so we know what we're looking at. Okay? So when we're looking at Diddy, it's funny to know Diddy and take that. The memes are hilarious. But he ain't the only one. There are gifted people that walk amongst us, and their gift is so brilliant, but they do have another side to them. And what is it that you do to that other side? Right? So I want you to update your view to understand that if you have a favorite celebrity, you have a favorite artist, or anybody that you think is amazing, I want you to understand that something is fueling that behavior. And if you're okay with that, then keep on dancing. But you can't do both. You can't dance to the music. You can't sing the songs. You can't watch the movies. You can't be inspired. And then when you find out the secret of the inspiration, you can't throw them away now. You are a participant. Remember, they are entertaining you. They want to be better than their last album. They want to be better than their last movie. They want to be better than their last book because you're going to judge them. Right? Okay. When you deal with binary thinking, you miss the jewels. We don't want to miss the jewels. Now, I'm not saying certain behavior is right or wrong. That's not my position. My position is, what is making this person shine? What is fueling this person's hyper focus? What is fueling their songwriting? Because in order to create movies, in order to create songs, in order to perform higher than everybody and put yourself in the 1% because of ability, you have to understand that you're not on the same wavelength as the regular person. There's something unique about you. There's something very different about you. And that's what I'm trying to understand. The other side of the Michael Jordan, of the Mike Tyson, of the Tiger Woods, of the Beyonce. Why are they so different than everybody? Their ability to focus, their ability to channel energy, their ability to get in character and become something. Right? To understand all the names that I mentioned, to understand a Diddy, you first have to understand a very dirty word, a dirty ideal. You're going to have to go somewhere where you don't want to go. To understand a Diddy, you're first going to have to understand the occult. If you don't understand the occult, then you're never going to understand gifted people. Right? If you don't understand the occult, then you're not going to understand what you're looking at with these individuals, these men and women. What is the occult? The occult is a body of science which is not widely known to the general population, consisting of hidden knowledge about the workings of the human psyche. And bring this down for a second. The occult is a body of science which is not widely known to the general population, consisting of hidden knowledge about the workings of the human psyche and the laws of nature, both physical laws and unseen laws. Simple. The occult is hidden knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Knowledge of ourself. That is the only thing that the occult is. When you deal with Orthodox religion, what it does is it keeps you from the other side of learning. When you're in Islam, they're all beautiful traditions. However, they keep you away from the other side of yourself. And it makes it seem as though is that the devil or hell is outside of you, or heaven or the God is outside of you. It puts these ideals and concepts outside of you. So you have to pray to the Lord for things because you don't have it. And when you take your mind to dark places, you try to wash the spirits off as if that dark place is not already a part of you. So religion tries to keep you in the light, which is great. It's dope. The problem with it is you don't know that you have a dual nature. That every single thing you do has another side to it. That's the problem. So when you're looking at Diddy and you're listening to the music, you don't understand that the music, the reason why he is a genius in that space, in that booth, the reason why he is a genius is because of something on the other side. Things that he's into, things that he likes. And the public says he shouldn't like that. Right? The only crime I'm going to say that he did will come later, because he did commit a crime. But it's not what you think. So to understand the gifted, you have to understand the occult. So when you see any great person, I don't care who it is, Barack Obama, great orator. But when you're looking at him on stage, you'll make the mistake of thinking that he does not have another side to him. He has to. Do you hear how he uses words? Brilliant speaker. What do you think allows him, makes him perform at that level? Something from the outside? No. He has things that he's into that would shock you, but it's only going to shock you is because you don't know that he has another side, and you won't accept that he has another side, because it's important for you to always see a person in the light, in the production, and that is the reason why you always get your heart broke. But if you can't accept the other side of other people, what about you? Because whoever you are at work, that is just a mask. That is just a representative. You have another side to you. And when you suppress and put down other people's dark, you do yourself a disservice as well. Because consciousness is about the pendulum swinging to light and dark. But the true master knows how to balance it. But you can't balance it if you don't know it exists or you're ashamed of it. The true master knows how to not violate. The true master can exist in light and dark and go back and forth with no shame. However, you cause no harm. If your light causes harm, then you're out of balance. If your dark causes harm, you're out of balance. You can only harm yourself, not others. So your pendulum swings back and forth to light and dark, depending on the moment. Knowing the temperature in the room, right? So when you're looking at Diddy and you're like, he's weird, but is he though? Is he? Is he weird? Is he weird? Or is he gifted? Because all gifted people would be weird. Because they have a detachment from humanity. The average person cannot think past humanity. The average person is all about being a good human. But the gifted person, their concern is not being a good human. Their concern is, or their priority is being the best at a thing. The average person just wants to be a good human, but the gifted person does not care about humanity. The gifted person cares about that ideal or about that craft. And here comes the violation, because the gifted person oftentimes does not understand humanity. There is a childlike thing about the artist. They don't understand certain things within humanity, like boundaries in certain cultures. Michael Jackson had a childlike thing about him. A lot of people would associate his abuse with his father. No, he was so great at his craft that he did not have a connection with regular human beings. Because if he's talking to you, he's probably thinking about a beat. He's probably thinking about a sound while you're thinking about regular human shit. Oh, if this girl likes me, if this guy likes me, while you're struggling with day-to-day things, the gifted person is cursed with math. trying to solve problems, trying to build things, trying to be something. The average person is not trying to be anything. The average person needs somebody to use their mind for them. But the gifted person wakes up every day trying to figure out a problem within their craft. Right? That's the gifted person's curse. Right? So when you're looking at a Michael Jackson, a prodigy, of course he did that to his face because he really technically has no connection with his body. All of his intelligence and all of his mind, being and essence is focused on the beat. He doesn't care about that. He's not thinking that, right? So that's the same with Diddy. But to understand these things, you have to go into the dirty places. You have to go into the places they tell you to stay out of. And if you understand that the places they tell you to stay out of is the places where you can get power from. The places they tell you to stay out of is the places where you can seek understanding and learning so you know what you're looking at. Because when you study all things and excuse me, when you're studying these things, you are studying yourself. This ain't about Diddy. This is about you. Yo, appreciate the 1999, bro. Appreciate the support. Come through the door with it. That's what's up. Shout out to Sheba on the 1999 super chat. Peace to you. Shout out to you. Good looking. Man, come through with the nine with the 100 ball. Let's put that to $100. That's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. They tell you that the occult is bad. Why? Why is it bad? It's bad because it puts your learning in your body. Let me tell you what that means. Regular religion wants you to find a power and a supernatural somewhere else. The devil is somewhere else. Hell is somewhere else. It makes you look outside into the world to try to find yourself. But the occult has you look inward. The etymology of occult is secret. A secret not divulged, hidden, concealed, to cover over, not apprehended by the mind, beyond the range of understanding. The association with the supernatural sciences, magic, alchemy, astrology. Do you know what astrology is for? Numerology is for? Alchemy and magic. Do you know what those sciences are for? Those sciences are to study your shadow self, the other side of you, the dual self. Priests, preachers, imams, rabbis are the gatekeepers to your other side. They are there to keep you into 3D, right? But that's not balance. They don't encourage you to work on the shadow. They don't encourage you to seek knowledge of yourself. There is another side to you. You must know this self. You must learn this self. That self is also here to experience. That self is not dirty. That self is not against you, but it can be if you think that it is an enemy. You must know that side of you. Why is it okay for you to only know your employee side? Why is it okay to only know your husband's side or your wife's side or your mom's side or your dad's side? You must know your liar side. You must know your deviant side. You must know your jealous side. You must know the side of you that has an urge to want to burn things sometimes. You must know the side of you that has the urge to want to sleep with people with no commitment. You must know that part of you. That is a real part of you that you got naturally. Nothing had to happen to you. You came to the planet like that. Yes, you give, but there's times where you don't want to give and you want to take. Yes, you love, but there's times that you hate. Yes, you say yes, but there's times where you want to say no, and that's okay. You came to the planet both. God and the devil are aspects of you. All people are inherently born good and bad. All people are born with life and death at the same time. All people are born all knowing and naive at the same time. You are and ain't at the same time. Right? Why is that important? So when you're dancing to Chris Brown or you're listening to Summer Walker or you're listening to TDJ, why were people so shocked about what they heard about TD Jakes? He's a great preacher. He's super talented, right? But you made the mistake of associating his talent and his skill to preach the word with a supernatural force that is influencing him. You never once thought that maybe, just maybe, he is inspired by a dark side. Does it change him preaching the word? Some will say, yeah, because you're not supposed to do that. Then how come every time you find the people that are the gatekeepers of morality, how come they always have this deviancy? Every single time. Not just men, women too. And the public always has a broken heart when you find out that the people telling you not to do something are doing what they told you not to do. The reason why your heart is broken is because you have a desire to be a perfect nigga. There's a standard of humanity that you want to live up to, and if you can't, you feel like you are a failure. But the standard to live up to is balance. That every great man and great woman has a equally deviant dark side. Now, the master knows how to control how far their pendulum goes. You don't allow your dark side to take the consent away from anyone else, because that would be doing harm. You don't allow your dark side to go into a place where the people that you're playing with don't understand what's going on. That is the violation. You can only play with people that have the same pendulum as you. That's knowledge of self. Just because you can, don't mean you should. And for those that operate in certain pendulums, it might feel good to have certain control over people. It might feel powerful, the fact that you can. You have control over this woman, or you have control over this man, and they feel like they're wrapped around your finger, and you get a rush out of that. But you're in violation because that person doesn't have the same pendulum swinging as you. They don't really know what's going on. They don't know what they're looking at. They are fascinated with you. They don't understand that you're operating in certain type of dark psychology or dark knowledge. So when you proceed with them, you are in violation because they are not operating on the same level and frequency as you. You must catch up with your own kind. But I understand, because the control feels good. You know you got that woman right where you want her. You know you got that man right where you want him. And it feels good. You doing sex magic on them and it feels good. You doing tarot cards and astrology and human design. You dealing with other sciences and it feels good. And they don't know what's going on and you get off on that. You're in violation, though. You can only gel with the people that have the same pendulum swinging back and forth. You can only gel with those that where there's no control and there's true consent. And that is the crime of Diddy. I'm not talking about what the FBI say. I'm talking about on another level as a person that is gifted and dealing with the knowledge that I know that he deals with. His violation is not playing with women and men that are exactly like him. Do you know why? Because there ain't no control. When you're playing with an equal, there ain't no control. And that's his violation. I don't care about what the feds are talking about. I don't deal with that. His violation is not catching up with his own kind. Your violation is not catching up with your own kind. You know damn well that woman can't think on your level, dog. Yeah, she bad. It's easy. You're in violation because the woman that's like you is not going to let you control her pussy. But you want control. The man that's like you, sis, don't give a damn about your glamour. That's why you mess with the dudes you mess with, homegirl. The ones that's caught up in your glamour. That's control. You know glamour is a form of witchcraft, right? It's an illusion. You know he never had a woman as pretty as you. You know you got an altar. You know you studying dark arts. He don't know that. But you like the control of it. You like how it feels. But knowledge of self is knowing that you like how that feels. Knowledge of self is being honest and knowing that you like how controlling other people feels. The fact that you have persuasion and you have power, you like that. I've liked that. It feels great to call somebody phone to you and you know they're going to pick up, to know someone's whereabouts, to be the only thing that a person is thinking about. It's an ego boost out of this world. But when I was operating like that, I am in violation because this woman don't read the books that I read. She don't know what I know. I have the advantage. And because I'm dealing with a different kind of knowledge, I am in error. Diddy is in error because there was women that are just as nasty and freaky as him, but he don't want to play in that space with them because they're going to do a bunch of nasty things and the woman is going to give up and get up and leave. She got her own money. She's equally powerful. She's the person for him to play there with, but he doesn't because he can't control her. He could control the Cassie. He could control these other people. He never plays in the space that people are actually like that. That's the violation. I'm not talking about what the feds are talking about. I'm talking about those that are operating on a different frequency of knowledge. So knowledge itself is being honest as a woman, knowing that you like having power over men. You know men are weak for the box. And you know you can get a man to do anything you want him to do. Knowledge itself is being honest that you actually like the power. The mastery comes in as a woman. Are you using your power right? What does that mean? Yes, you can have the man do things for you. However, you must give something in return, and it's not pussy. That's how you keep your pendulum balanced. You know that you have power over men as a woman. Your give back to them has to be something that makes him better. And if you do that, you can dig all into niggas' pockets. There you could go. Right? Because a trick is a trick. Right? The game is the game. But you have to keep your pendulum balanced. You can't just take. Right? You a man and you have the things that women are attracted to, cars, certain looks. You're playing the game. You are premeditatedly getting these things, and you know what state that it puts a woman in. You know you got them. You know you have the money to to weaponize, right? And women want to give you their body and their love and their nurturing. You can get all that from them. But you must give back something that betters the women. Now, whether they use it, whether they ask for it, that's not on you. But you must give back something that is related to their benefit. See, the money weaponizes, right? So some would say, okay, the man just give the woman the money. But the money weaponizes. The average woman don't even know what to do with the shit, right? So it's for the man to use the money in the way that betters the woman. And as long as you do that, you can take and accept whatever she gives you. This is how you keep your scales clean. Have you asked yourself, how come the Rothschilds are still in power? How come all these people that we say are wicked and they're destroying the planet and they're causing wars? How do they stay in power? It's because what they do to their pendulum, it does not swing to the other side. So when they do an extreme evil, they balance it with an extreme good. The issue with Diddy and those like him is the pendulum is one way. The pendulum is one way. And he is in violation because he refuses to play in that space with individuals that are already like that. When you come in to a certain degree of knowledge, you can't turn people out. The people that are for you in a certain space, they already have to come to you like that. You can't turn anybody out, or you are in violation. Because what you're creating is a codependency. But knowledge of self. Knowledge of self is being honest about the fact that you like the feeling of turning people out. It's deviant, it's dirty, but it's truth. At the temple of Apollo, it said, know thyself. Know thyself. Before you learn business, before you learn about real estate, before you learn entrepreneurship, you must know thyself. Not know thy black community, not know thy Malcolm X, not know thy national anthem, not know thy hip hop, not know thy soft life, none of that. Know thyself. And what does it mean to know thyself? To know thyself is to know that you have a shadow. What is that? Shadow is defined as a disowned aspect of yourself. A disowned aspect of yourself. The shadow split came from past experience that were too overwhelming to cope with at the time. This caused the overwhelmed aspect of yourself to split off from your sense of self. These split off aspects of self then become suppressed and remain largely unconscious, even though the shadow aspect is yourself, because it's suppressed, it is experienced, not me. This shadow aspect then gets projected into the world and experienced as other. Your shadow is nothing more than a part of you that is unconscious and therefore hidden from your awareness. The unconscious is filled with all kinds of things that you have judged as unacceptable about you. And shadow work is nothing more than the art of making the unconscious conscious and the unacceptable acceptable. Mm. Mm. Everyone carries a shadow, and unless it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Shadow work is the path of the warrior heart. When you do shadow work, as a man, you understand that The dark side of every woman is also in you. When you do shadow work as a woman, you understand that the dark side of every man is also in you. When you do shadow work, you understand that the greatest evils, the greatest atrocities, you have the potential of doing. You also have the ability to do the greatest good. The pendulum swings back and forth. But the problem with religion is it keeps your pendulum from going to that side to know yourself. You must go to hell. You must dance with the devil. And going to hell and dancing with the devil is nothing but a two-step in your own subconscious. When you are listening to these amazing performers, when you do proper shadow work, you understand that they are capable of anything. When you do shadow work, you understand that what makes somebody amazing is oftentimes something that they are very, very ashamed of. But as the student, you don't operate in judgment. You operate from the eagle's perspective, looking down on the world, understanding how human beings go to and fro, doing all things. No judgment, no shade. But the violation comes in when you don't catch up with your own kind. As a student of the occult, of the hidden, a person that is on the left-hand path, a person that goes into the mystic realms, the dark side of knowledge, whether you are initiated by a group or not, the moment you begin to go into the space of knowledge of self, your violation becomes different. The law is different. There is no FBI for the occult, right? When you violate, you don't violate regular state law, right? You violate the craft. What is Diddy's crime? Not his deviancy. Not his sexual proclivities. His crime is not doing it with people that are like him. That's his crime. His crime is control. Why do you think two tattoos, one red, no apology, the other said love is cursed by monogamy? That's Kanye. An average person will never say love is cursed by monogamy. The average person can't even fathom what that means. Love is cursed by monogamy. Who would say something like that? The gifted. Oh, slavery is a choice. Oh, bad Kanye, bad Kanye. I understand what he means. That's how you talk when you don't have a connection to humanity. Love is cursed by monogamy. Only people that are detached from humanity would say something like that. The average person, the regular person is love looks like this. It has to be this certain type of way. It's all these rules. But the person that pushes boundaries in culture is going to say, 2 tattoos, 1 red, no apology. The other said love is cursed by monogamy. Right? I understand that. But I also understand when this individual has meltdowns too. Because glory and doom walks hand in hand with the gifted. Your glory and your doom goes hand in hand. Do you know the feeling of being cursed with ideals? Do you know the feeling of cursed with ambition? Do you know the feeling of it's never enough? Complete that goal, go to the next, complete that goal, go to the next. It's never enough. 1 championship is not enough. 1 million is not enough. 1 house is not enough. 1 car is not enough. 1 woman is not enough. 1 man is not enough. Do you understand what that is like? You're blessed if you don't. But there are those that walk amongst you that are never satisfied. There are those that walk amongst you that can't sleep because they're thinking about the next thing to do, the next place to go, the next goal to smash. Let's just call this person Michael Jackson. You love Mike. I love Mike. Motown, did the moonwalk, human nature, off the wall. Dirty Diana, yeah. That's my shit. When he had the child molestation allegations on him, why couldn't that be true? Why wouldn't you want that to be true? Oh, Mike cares about the planet. What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? If you adjusted your perspective, you would understand that as large as he is on the stage, he is also large somewhere else. Pause that too. That was crazy. He is large in the shadow. Here's where polarity comes in. This is why it's important to deal with the occult so you know what you're looking at. Polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The principle of polarity explains that seemingly opposite things are actually one and the same at varying degrees. Cold is just the absence of heat, and they're both one thing: temperature. Physical matter and spiritual energy are the same things. with spiritual energy vibrating at a much higher level that can't be perceived by our senses. What does that mean? That means that whatever makes a person great, there is an equal side that is also deviant. Opposites are the same. So when you hear about Diddy and you're like, oh my God, listen to what he was into. The same way he created Ready to Die and Life After Death. The same way he was helping Mary with Share My World. The same way he is a musical savant. He is also into some other things equally, but it's one energy. That's all creative energy. When Kanye said slavery is a choice, that is also the same energy he made Jesus Walks with. When Kanye said slavery was a choice, that is also the same energy he said George Bush doesn't like black people. It's the same. His pendulum swung the other way and no one liked what they heard. See, the gifted individual is performing for average people. This is why average people are fanned out, because the performer is a godlike figure to them. The gifted person is creating something for people that don't even understand who they are. So when the pendulum swings the other way, they are imprisoned by how the public knows them. I'm canceling Kanye. But why not when he said George Bush doesn't like black people? I'm canceling Kanye. He said slavery was a choice. Of course he did. But I'm saying though, of course he did though. Why wouldn't that individual say that? This is how they really look. I don't believe Michael Jackson had them kids in his bed. Why not? Why not? Do you understand how the person hears music? They have no connection to the world. He does not understand boundaries. Having children in his bed was not wrong to him because all of his intelligence went into how music sounds. So he did not have a connection that he's a grown man and those are kids. Honestly, in his mind, it was innocent. He couldn't quite grasp that that was not cool because he is detached from humanity. All gifted people are detached from the everyday cultural shit. The gifted person don't care who the president is. The gifted person don't care about the economy. The gifted person operates in a different place. The ill thing about polarity is it's like that with gender. We think we're different, but we're the same. So when women are complaining about men, men come out of you. What do you mean? These men, they came out of you. The dark side of every woman is inside a man. The dark side of every man is inside a woman. Both equally. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Male and female are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. The dusty has a mother. The whore has a father. So when people come to you and they separate the poles and make it seem like the poles are different, the person that is doing that is using dark psychology to do that to you. They are also in violation. Because when you separate something, you must bring it back together. You only separate it for study. Because the true student, the true occultist, the true teacher knows that all things are one. Just different sides, different degrees. Diddy and many like him deal with something that the public is very unaware of. There's degrees of knowledge that are on this planet that the public, the commoner, is not really aware of. And this is what makes them great, because you hear things and you don't understand them. You see things and you don't know what you're looking at. But over here at Heaven on Earth, it's important for you to walk away with a different view so you know what's going on. The 7 liberal arts is very important. This is how Western society is built. Okay? Grammar, logic, and rhetoric represent something called the trivium. Arithmetic, geometry, and music, astronomy represent the quadrivium. The trivium is 3, the quadrivium is 4. You bring them together, they make up something called the 7 liberal arts. Okay? These are real things and they have real-time application. And the gifted individual on the planet typically operates in one of these. The trivium, which is grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Okay? Screenshot this so you understand this, because this is dealing with language. Right? When people say that a man is logical, well, that's not true, because logic is a real thing. A man can be logical if he's trained to think that way. A woman can be logical if she's trained to think that way. But people being logical by nature is false. So this is the trivium. Grammar is input, logic is processing, rhetoric is output. Screenshot this. This is the trivium. Okay? This is the quadrivium. 1 second. Okay. This is the quadrivium: arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy. Diddy deals with music. What is music? Music is an art form which employs vibration, rhythm dynamics, and the interplay between sound and silence as its mediums for expression. Music is the arithmetic of time. Musical scales and notes are a real thing. The ability to master sound and silence. So, Diddy exists between sound and silence. So he is standing in the middle, and sound on one side and silence on one side, and he's an alchemist, so he brings sound and silence together. And when he does that, it makes people's body move. That is alchemy. Okay? He is very detached. So what he does not have a connection to. Because when you're an individual resting in between sound and silence, your mind is elsewhere. So whatever was happening with Cassie, he could not see the violation, because even though he's existing between sound and silence, he is not existing in knowledge of himself. Because if he were, he would have understood that even though Cassie would be a willing participant, she is not dealing with none of these sciences. She can sing, but she is not great. So she has a connection to humanity. Do you know how I know she has a connection to humanity? Because she sued him. The true occultist would have just took the L. The true student, the true occultist, takes everything that comes with the game. The civilian shows screenshots. The civilian talks about the details of your intimate relationships with somebody. The civilian sues. The occultist does not. They do spiritual work. That is the justice. If Cassie was a witch, she would have put Diddy on the altar and would not have to get the court involved. He would have just paid her out, because whatever spell she's doing on his ass is kicking his ass, and he's going to pay for it to stop. But the fact that she had to sue makes her a civilian. That's his bad for messing with a woman that will sue. If that was his equal, it would have never got this far. And if that was his equal, the woman that was just like him, she wouldn't allowed him to control her. But his violation is the fact that he needs control. What I want you to know is that there are people on the planet dealing with some high level intelligence. They just look how they look. You have no clue what they're dealing with. And there's rules to this. I advise people to stay regular, because when you stay regular, you can sue people, you can show screenshots, you can record people, you can do all those things because you're not held to the standard of the occult or the craft. You're regular. Stay like that. Because if you go to the other side, you have to handle your business very differently, and you don't sue. You don't take people to court. There's another type of law that you put on them. And if you do your work right, they will pay if you know what you're doing. So the reason why he is going through what he is going through, because he violated his own mastery. If you are an individual that is sitting in between sound and silence, what the hell you doing sitting with a regular bitch? And that's what all of us have to learn. Sis, you got an altar. What the hell you doing with a regular dude? Huh? What are you doing with a regular person? You have different rules. So screenshot this as well. You have the trivium and the quadrivium. The gifted individuals are operating in one of these: arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy, logic, rhetoric. One sec. Put it back. If a person is gifted, they are operating in arithmetic, geometry, music, astronomy, logic, rhetoric, and reason. You got the quadrivium and you got the trivium. That's where most people that are gifted are operating in. Then you also have people that are craftsmen, but even the craftsmen, the brick masons and the architects, they're using arithmetic and geometry. So if you are a gifted person, you're operating with the trivium and the quadrivium. What do I blame Diddy for? Well, I blame him for the same things I blame myself for, of not catching up with my own kind, abusing my power, knowing that I've been in spaces around people and they don't know what they're looking at. And they've never seen a me before. And I got off on that. I got off on being a fast dude. I got off on having money and a woman had no money. I got off on going out the country, dealing with people that never been. I got off on knowing dark psychology and others didn't. I got off on the fact that I had the intellect advantage, the financial advantage, the experience advantage, the occult advantage. I got off on that. And when I was dealing with individuals, I was in violation because they ain't my kind. So I hold Diddy to that same standard. I don't care about the feds. I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm operating on a different thing. So his violation is the fact that he did not play in the spaces with people that are just like him. And it is women that like what he like. The problem is she got money. The problem is she has power too. The problem is he can't control her and make an imprint on her and make an impression on her, no matter what crazy thing they do, he can't control her. And that's his violation. Nothing else. Catch up with your own kind. Knowledge of self is you like the power. Admit it. You like getting your way. You like the manipulation, right? And that's okay. What makes you a master, though, is understanding where to do it and where not. When you are dealing with genuine people, you throw the 48 laws of power away and you be present, right? When you are holding a baby that's pure, you throw all that shit away. When you're playing the game, corporate, moving forward, all fair and love and war. That's mastery. When you're dealing with a genuine woman that is showing up and she's not playing any games, as a man, don't bring the art of seduction with you. Don't bring no game with you. Show up human. If you a woman and you see a genuine guy, he's genuine. And you know you can turn this dude into a trick, don't do it. Unless you have something to give back to him that will make him a better man. You can't just take, because if you do, your pendulum is messed up. Right? He wants to give, he want to pay your rent, he want to do things, right? You're allowed to use that man. You can't misuse that man. Don't misuse, use, but don't abuse. So he can do whatever he want. But you have to give him value more than sex. Something that if he never sees you again, when he looks back in his memory bank of people, he is thankful that he met you because you gave him something. Something that he can take to make him better. Right? And as long as you do that, right? As long as you do that, your pendulum be just fine. And you'll be able to go on a long run like the Medicis, like the Rockefellers. There's a reason why certain families are still in position. It's because they deal in extremes, right? When they do something hot, they do something cold right away, right? When they do an evil, they do a good. Because nature responds to the energy that we put out. And when we're off balance, that is an energy that is going out. Right? So if we are all good all the time, that is an energy going out. If we are all bad all the time, that is an energy going out. But if we are both at the same time, I'm good and bad, I'm up and down, I'm wet, I'm dry, I'm righteous, I'm savage, right? At the same time, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Sometimes it's a season of a thing. So I'm a season of philanthropy. And then next it's a season of selfishness. Then it's a season of hedonism. Then it's a season of righteousness. Sometimes it's for a day and then it switches over. Sometimes it's for a week and then it switches over. Sometimes you might be walking a certain path for a year and then the next year you are completely different. right? No Diddy. If you're an individual that on your path and on your journey, you're looking for an accountability partner, you're looking for somebody to help you walk the path, I'm your guy. So go ahead and scan what you see right there. Put yourself on my calendar, and I can help you with your balance. I can help you with your occult. I can be your go-to for all things personal development. And remember something. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world. It's going to be things coming at you left. It's going to be things coming at you right. If you have to use your hands or raise your voice to do anything, you already lost. Because the true battle is from above the neck. Real warfare is mental. So much respect to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later,